Welcome to the Friendly Geordie Shawarma episode.
Yalla.
Do you know what episode this is?
The communist takeover episode.
I think this is... No, I meant number. I think this might be 430. I've started numbering them.
Oh, shit.
And the numbers are random. They're not from where we started. It's just when we imported all the
really?
episodes to Acast, which is our new platform, by the way. No more Podbean, as you've noticed. Acast is where it's at. Otherwise, Spotify, iTunes, or whatever.
I didn't know that.
They automatically numbered it. But I think they've numbered it from
Like
the maximum that they imported. Anyway, so I think we're at 430.
But 430 since we started the Friendly Geordies thing for our podcast.
Maybe. Let's just
It's
assume.
probably like...
Let's just assume. I'm rolling with it.
Yeah, it's probably like 1,430, but let's just do that. Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
welcome to Shawarma FM.
Yeah, welcome to Shawarma FM. Thank you for being here.
We're not live because it's early and Jordan's still not around. So
Jordan is still on his hiatus, as you've noticed. There's no activity on the Friendly Geordie channel as well.
I was just saying, like, in a way, it's worked. It's good that it's worked out well that we've done more pods, because otherwise it would be like, sweet, we'll do a pod in like 2028, I guess. Like, it's just, so
who knows?
So it's actually kind of serendipitous.
So weirdly, it's kind of worked out in a way.
Because, like, shit, it's the fan.
And thank you for your comments and your suggestions, whether it be on Patreon or on YouTube. As you can notice, we've taken one of your suggestions, which is we're closer together now.
Hey, babe.
Because some guy...
Hi there.
Stop it.
You know what it feels like now? It feels like we're on one of those, like The View, or like one of those podcasts that are just like, just kind of like, just being like, since my husband's been on pilot, we've been just having more sex.
And
been having a lot more sex. And it's just, it's an important part of a relationship.
Bro, like, okay, Pilot has sponsored us in the past as well.
I know.
Thanks for that. But also, man, those are so staged.
What do you mean?
Those like casual podcast conversations.
Dude, they're so staged. It's like every time I see those ads, it's like, so tell me about blah, blah, blah. And I'm like interested. I'm interested. I'm like, oh, this sounds genuine. And then all of a sudden I see it says pilot. It's like, so we tried it. I'm just like, done, next. I'm like, it's so obvious. It's like,
and dude, our Pilot sponsorship was way better, which was like, oh my God, we had a sponsor. Who's their sponsor? Pilot.
Yeah.
Well, do you want hard-ons?
Yeah.
Well, maybe that will work then.
Yeah.
It's so much more natural.
Like trying it ourselves, being like, let's see.
There's two kinds of ads now that you get on while scrolling through social media that I absolutely hate. One is those like casual podcast pilot ones where like it's so fake. And the other one is...
Yes.
I actually know the guy because I used to work with him and he's on every ad. It's like, have you seen that ad where it's like, how much deposit did you need for your house? 2.5%. With so-and-so company, you can do it for 2.5%. Or it'll be like, you don't have a bank of mom and dad, neither are you rich on your... Well, 2.5% deposit.
You know what?
Which, by the way, that company also, I don't know a lot about it, but seems like a scam.
Yeah. You know what I hate too? They have these ads that are saying, it makes me feel like I'm like, dude, I gotta get my shit together. There's some guy who's like 20, some like Lebo dude or something. He's just like, all your friends got deposits, but you're still renting? Dude, what are you doing? Like 5% deposit, like come with me. We're going to walk around Coogee and I'm going to talk to you. And I'm just there as a 35-year-old man just being like, I don't need this.
Yeah, I don't know how that's happening. Also, like, I don't know how good of an idea it is to mortgage at 2.5% deposit.
Yeah, dude.
Bro, do you know the repayments are going to be for the rest of your life? And
beyond, like 20 lives.
And what if the interest rates goes up?
I don't know. I honestly don't know.
You can only afford 2.5%.
Yeah, I don't know what
have you heard Trump's suggestion?
Isn't he handing out 200? He's giving everyone $2,000.
No, Trump's suggestion is because like after Mamdani got elected, his thing is
what is an emergency?
Housing affordability is bullshit. This is how you solve it: 50-year mortgages. So you know how like the max we have is 30. So he's saying do 50, which essentially means that
I didn't know we only
you're
had 30.
renting from the bank. That's what that means. It's like you're on rent.
Yeah,
you'll get stability of rent.
Yeah,
but you'll never own the house. You'll die before you own the house.
Is that a good idea?
First of all, I don't know if it's a good idea for home ownership.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if that is home ownership.
It's not home ownership. But really, what all this stuff is again is just being like, it's like stretching. It's putting more band-aids on like a cancer, like a wound. Like you're like, just put another band-aid. It's like you're really not addressing the core issue.
Well, this isn't even a band-aid. This is like giving you off the illusion that you're, because I think the point of home ownership is home ownership.
Not just, but I mean, like, I suppose people would say that, like, you know, I mean, look, a 30-year loan compared to a 50-year loan is, in essence, quite similar in that it's like, okay, what's really happening here? Hold on for dear life. The value goes up, and then, you know, like if you're making money, you're in theory making money on the value if you sell, right?
I mean, yes, yeah.
But if you have a mortgage outstanding, then you might not make any money because you have to pay the bank back, right?
Exactly.
So it's actually, no, it's not. I just realized in real time it's crap.
No, if you decide
You make money
to
once.
sell,
Yeah.
you'll essentially get your deposit minus all the taxes that you paid on your deposit as well.
Okay, so that's just absolutely a scam.
It's absolutely nothing. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's total bullshit.
It goes up in value if you get to a point where you've paid the loan off, and then you're like, okay, now the added value is profit, right?
Yeah. I mean, why do you have to just... This is all an elaborate way of like getting people to rent. So then why are you trying to give money off to the bank? Just go old school. It's like government housing.
Yeah.
This is the rent.
Yeah.
Just
rent
because that's what that
control.
is essentially.
It is, yeah. Fuck, it's so the astronomical levels of like the prices. Man, the prices in Sydney is just, I don't know, we're broken clocks now, but it's like, it's really expensive.
Yeah, no doubt. You know what's funny, dude? Like,
It's crazy.
you know that like in the last 2 years,
Yeah.
I gave up and started to join the scam of property.
Oh, I mean, respect.
I know, but dude, I was thinking this. The property market is so insane that if tomorrow there was a massive collapse, I will lose all my investment because I just got one, you know, and these really inflated things.
know.
A shitty place, which I don't even live in.
I know.
But dude, if it all goes pop, I think I'll be like, yeah, fair enough.
Seriously? You know what's crazy?
Because I think it'll be like good. I will lose my savings, but so are so many other people. And then at the end of the day, I know that is the only sustainable way of living.
Well, you know what's crazy? I have a mate who he's just, hey, Rumi, you want to come up here? Oh, sorry, I can't say Rumi. Just the one Rumi.
I mean, you can say Rumi. So a lot of people complain, people particularly that listen to the pod as opposed to watch it,
No more Rumi.
where like no more Rumi talk.
Yeah,
It gets annoying.
One Rumi talk. But he's so cute. He has just, so he's worked hard his whole life. So it's none of this like bank of mummy and daddy or anything like that. But he worked in banking for a long time. He has a property.
Who are you talking about? Wait, 1 second.
My mate.
Yeah,
Lachlan.
your mate Lachlan. Okay.
He has a property in Perth. He's got one in Canberra, and he had one in Sydney with his like partner, but they just sold. Anyway, I was speaking to him, and he, you know, a guy that has a lot in the game, and he was just like, man, it's gonna. I don't know if he's right, but he was like, the bubble's gonna burst like sooner or later. And I was like, yeah, but I should get into the property thing, right? And he was like, nah, I think it's gonna burst, and then then you should get in. And I'm like, yeah, but when's that going to happen? 5 years, 10 years? And he's like, I don't know.
It's not just when, it's if.
Exactly. It's also if.
It's
That's what Jordan was saying too. I think Jordan was like, it's going to burst. And it's like, it's going to burst. And it's like, if we look on his metric of investment in silver.
Well, did you read the comments when you mentioned this last time?
No. Oh, yeah, I did, but I didn't.
They were all saying like, dude, well, not all of them, but like a lot of them were saying like, don't listen to your friend. Which I think is a reasonable suggestion.
I mean, he wasn't suggesting it in a way like this is a fact and this is the situation, but I think he was just like, this is honestly what I personally think, which is significant. If someone really thinks that, it's like, and what I'm saying is it's quite a big deal if someone with multiple properties who was in banking and stuff knows what he's talking about thinks that. It's like not, it's you know, it's sort of, it's not unremarkable. You know what I mean? But it's also, you're right. What's going to happen? In 10 years, I'm like, it's going to burst. And it's like, all right, prices have quadrupled. Everything's even more expensive. And then I'll be like, hey, I'm just going to get in now. I fucked up again. Like, you got to get in.
I mean, I think even with now, like, I think you'd rather be in than out.
Exactly.
And you'd rather be in than wait it out.
Exactly.
But yeah, man, like, no one knows about this bubble stuff. Like, you can pretend to know that it's happening. No one really does know.
They don't.
In fact, one thing that they always say is that the next recession is almost never what people are looking at. So, like, they map out all the recessions that have happened.
Yeah.
And whatever caused that. So, for example, like the 2008 subprime mortgage stuff, housing, no one was looking at housing at the time when this was about to happen. They were looking at like other stuff. I mean, the Big Short guys, a few people that managed to do it. Like, generally speaking, you know how like everyone's talking about like AI bubble? Mm-hmm. I don't know. Again, I don't know if there's the bubble. Like, I'm sure there's a bubble. But what I know is that like they say that every time there is one of those, like if people have identified a bubble, that's probably not where the crisis is. The crisis is somewhere that no one's looking at the moment. But these are like interesting. But that's not like science.
Sure,
it's just like a saying. That's like saying like history doesn't repeat, but it rhymes. It's like, I mean, it has that level of credibility, is what I'm trying to say.
I understand. I think that there's truth in these things, but again, it's like the reality sometimes isn't The Big Short and some sexy movie. It's like sometimes it's the status quo for a long, long time, and value usually does increase, and things kind of, like as bad as it is now, it's a long, long, long way away from being a true crisis in my eyes.
And dude, I think like my father-in-law sort of did it was actually really good because he kind of shut me up like an internet troll. Because I was saying the same thing because he's really into property and all that stuff. And so I was saying like, oh, you know what? These prices are like unsustainable. They're too much. Like we've hit a dead end over here. And he obviously, like most boomers, disagrees with that point of view. But then he did something that did shut me up, which is that he sent me clippings of news reportings from like so he showed me like like news ABC reports
like
from 1989 saying exactly what they're saying now. And then he's like 60s saying that house prices are over 300,000 median level. This is unsustainable. And so he's trying to make a point that like, dude, every time, and it never, like, this has consistently been the way for like but I don't know, man. Like the boomers are an optimistic generation.
They are.
They lived in a very remarkably peaceful, upwardly mobile time. So they don't buy all of this like crisis shit.
And there is some truth to that too. It's like things tend to get sensationalized. I mean, I'm not saying it's good, but it seems like it's a far cry from like a true I think, look, this is a brutal thing to say, but ultimately the boomers who will pass this on to their kids, at least some of them. Yeah. And then it delays another generation's.
But man, I don't even know if that's a good thing. Like,
I don't know. I'm not saying it's a good thing.
No, I know. But what I'm saying is like, okay, I have seen several instances, where inheritance has had a negative effect on everyone receiving that inheritance. This is going to go back to the same lotto argument that I had, but what happens is because you have such a vested interest in this inheritance of yours, if you have siblings, you end up fighting with them over it. The other thing that happens is it also like cages you, where like you start feeling that, oh, if I don't want to reveal too much because I had a discussion with someone recently, but like the idea was that this person wanted to live in the same house, even though the environment was really toxic, because of brother-in-law situations, but did not want to leave this absolute hellhole that he has been in for years, because what if they take over the property? Yeah. So what I'm trying to say is like, so it's sort of like, it gives you this hope, because for once you start thinking, this is the only way for me to like have a comfortable life. Also, if I don't get this, I'm never going to have a comfortable life. And so you go all in and you live a miserable life. And by the time you get it or not get it, it really wasn't worth it. Now, on the other hand, you've got a kid who was broke. So his parents don't have an inheritance to give off. They've been living in housing commissions or whatever as well. Now, it may be possible that person who grew up in that environment never owns a house. But I think they're more likely to own it because they have no hope. Like, they just have to go and make it for themselves.
You really think that's the case?
I generally think that. I don't think inheritance has... Now, there are examples where it has helped people as well. I don't want to, like, poo-poo. But generally speaking, I don't think inheritance is a good thing.
I mean, I know some situations where it has not been beneficial as
Exactly.
well.
Exactly. There's that.
Yeah.
It also, like, ruins your ability to be skilled in life. Do you know? Like, when you have no option, then you have to go out and work because you're going to die otherwise. And then in that process, you're going to find your groove and maybe you get a decent job and you buy a house. But if you are constantly, you know, like trying to get a hold of your inheritance and fighting people off and being really protective, you're never going to put yourself in that position where you can get skilled and be able to make money.
There definitely is. I mean, there definitely is a separation of the kind of person that I think a good mix is if you are.
And I'm glad that I'm having this discussion with you because you have no inheritance. Yeah. And frankly speaking, I barely have an inheritance as well. Like no inheritance whatsoever.
Yeah.
So when I say this, some people say, oh, you're saying this because you're pissy because you don't have like a bunch of houses to inherit.
Yeah.
But man, like I'm talking about people that I've seen that did and their life is not better than mine.
It's weird,
Their life is worse off.
I mean, if you don't have a work ethic or any particular, if you haven't been in that sort of cycle of working, whether it's something you like or not, then if you're just relying on handouts, then you're gonna.
But even the best case scenario. Now you have friends like this as well, and I know a couple of people like this. They've inherited a property.
Yeah.
By the way, they've not inherited a mortgage; they've inherited a property. So the best case scenario, where like someone's already paid off or paid off most of it, and you've inherited it. Now they've put this up for rent. And they're essentially living off of the rent. They're renting somewhere else, and they're living off of the rent. Now, this is an ideal situation where parents would assume that, like, oh, our kid will always have like a backup thing.
Yeah.
Now, tell me, all of those people, what are their lives like? Are they shit or are they good?
I'd say like, on paper at least. Are
they happy?
I'd say inconsequential.
Yeah. I think like a lot of people like get happiness by being somewhat of a productive member of society. That's a big part of it. And when you don't have that, you always remain kind of unhappy.
I think, look, but you have to admit there must be some security knowing that you don't have to. If you're not working and producing something for society, you're going to be unhappy. But if you have that security and you're producing and working for society,
that's the ultimate. I agree with you, and that is the ultimate. But
it's not an absolute. It's not an absolute.
Almost that never always happens that way.
Yeah.
Like, okay, when you are a spoiled brat, you're less likely to be productive. You know, for one, if you have a lot of inheritance that you know you're going to get, you're going to be less inclined to be really career driven. Why would you?
True.
But if you have no option. You know, like what Jordan always says, like if you want to make it big on, you know, if you want to be a social media star, then you can't have backups.
Yeah.
Like you have to give up everything, live a life of a homeless person, because then only you'll be able to do it. And I think it's the same thing that applies with this inheritance stuff.
I think that's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's definitely some truth
I don't know.
to
Look,
it.
so my father didn't have any inheritance either. And he like made it himself. And then lost it, which is why like I don't have any inheritance either.
How do you lose it?
Just bad business venture.
You're kidding.
Yeah, in Dubai. But anyway, it doesn't matter.
Right.
But dude, I'm not pissy. I'm not at all upset by that. Because I swear to God, I am not upset by that at all. Because like, why do I deserve it?
Yeah.
Why? What's the reason?
You're right.
You know what? I believe that you should give your kids, which my father gave me, which is the opportunity to get the best education possible. Now, you might not be able to go to Cambridge or Harvard because you're not that smart, but if you were, I should be able to send you to that however way possible. You should have like a good upbringing. You should be told love. But then the idea that like, oh, you also get like a house or two Which, by the way, like, you know, I have these discussions with Katie all the time because she is obviously of a different point of view. And I was like, why do you want to create spoiled kids?
Yeah.
Anyways, that's my way of looking at it, that no one agrees.
I'm kind of in the middle, you know. I think I would agree with you if the realm of home ownership was achievable. I think it is getting so crazy that to me now, you know, someone gives you $500,000 and it's like, okay, that's not a house still. So we're in a different zone, I feel like, right now. But in principle,
yeah, but like, dude, look at what you said. You're like, oh, if someone gives you $500,000, okay, that's still not a house. But dude, that's a lot of money. You can build a house on that. You can, like, what are you bringing to the table? So someone just gives you a house.
Oh, for sure. You have no.
Yeah,
I understand.
That's a lot of money. You can build several houses with that.
Being given a house is insane and something that I will never get.
Yeah.
And something that I probably don't feel that I deserve. But it's just there's a lot of
it's not that you don't deserve it. It's like, I believe
between.
No one deserves it.
Yeah, but that's not the way it is.
You only deserve it if you worked hard in your life.
Yeah.
If you worked hard
but
in
what
your
about
life,
this? What about these boomers that bought a freaking house in a meat raffle?
Yeah, they lucked out. Some generations have it easier. I'm not saying what this current situation is easy. Look, dude, I am arguing that I'm happy with a global property collapse. Like, that's what I started this conversation as. So I'm not saying that this situation is good.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, like, the answer isn't like, oh, I wish I had inheritance, or I wish my mom and dad died.
No, of course not.
Right?
Jesus.
Or like,
of course not.
Yeah. But some people get to that zone as well.
They do. I know they do. They do. It's
and also, like, dude, okay, this is the other thing. I'm not necessarily, you know, like a PBD where, like, make your own house.
Yeah.
Maybe you're not going to be able to own a house ever. That's also a possibility. That's okay.
Do you want to be? Like,
I don't want to be.
No, but do you?
But what can I do?
Do you not get bummed out?
Yeah.
When, like, where did I go? I went to Dan Murphy's, of course, the other day, and there was this lady called such a boomer name. Dot. That's her name. D-O-T.
I didn't know that could be a name.
Yeah, Dot is like a really old, like, 1960s name for a kid, you know. So she was a boomer, and I was buying my, like, 2 Sing towels, and she's like, "Are you a member?" And I'm like, "Nah." And she's like, "Probably not even worth it with these 2 beers." I'm like, "Please don't talk to me. This is demeaning for both of us, you know." She's lifting cases of beer at God knows what age. That's brutal.
That's brutal. No doubt.
Brutal. She's renting, bro.
No, dude, I agree with you.
Yeah.
I'm not saying this is a great thing, but what I'm saying is that she is. You know what she is doing?
Hustling.
She's living a respectable life.
Yeah.
That everyone in society respects.
That's debatable, but
no, shit. People don't respect that.
Okay.
People that are like that are morally bankrupt don't respect that.
Yeah.
Now, in an ideal world, she should retire.
Yes.
At this age, she should have all of that. But that's, you know, some people die of starvation out of no compulsion of their own. This world, you know, we're owed nothing.
Yes.
So we just make do with what we can. And at the end of the day, everyone has to die. Like, you're not going to be here permanently.
This is are you a Buddhist now or what?
I'm not a Buddhist, but I'm just like, dude, okay, I believe in something which is so bad because, like, whenever I tell people, including my own family, they get freaked out.
What, when you die, you come back to life as a bottle of Tsingtao beer.
Dude, have you seen the movie Hate?
Hate, of course. She's got a huge ass.
Yeah. I believe that movie, in a weird, corrupt sense, has one of the best pieces of philosophy ever.
Is it when they're sitting down in the diner and talking?
Yeah, but it's specifically related to what Robert De Niro, if you've seen the movie.
I've seen it.
What Robert De Niro says, how is he able to do big scores without ever getting caught?
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
I know that they did say, like, we're the same, just on 2 different sides of the coin, but I don't know how.
He says at the end of the day.
What did he say?
That you need to be able to leave everything in 30 seconds. He's like, what about a wife? What about your family? Like, that's a discipline. You should be. What I'm trying to say is, like, the idea of that is, I'm not saying, like, you should leave your family. Don't get me wrong. But what I'm trying to say is, like,
be adaptable.
But, like, understand that everyone comes alone in this world, and every sort of attachment is going to be left behind.
Yeah. I do think about that sometimes.
Well, so do you understand, like, getting attached to things, whether it be like money? I know it's, first of all, like, I'm not some rich guy saying this, right? So I am struggling just like everyone else. So like, don't say like, oh, it's easy for you to say this. Like, no, it's hard for me to say this as well. But like, what I'm saying is like, attachments to worldly things is a horrible way to live your life.
That is very true. That is true. That is true. I mean, that's when you get those people that are like completely consumerist, where it's like Rolex watch, Lexus car, like these, I don't know, Gucci, this and that. It's like, it is a scam, because it's like, this is all made in the same factory. This is all crap. This is all status symbol crap. Anyone that's living like that is, man, it's like a full-time, like, you're wasting your time and money.
So now, what does one value the most?
Yeah, I would say like relationships,
being able to eat good food, like quality food, not necessarily like fancy high end.
No, just
but like be able to
quality.
like not
stuff that doesn't make you sick.
Stuff doesn't make you sick. Having a roof over your head,
traveling, damn it,
level of privacy, some level of traveling. If you're like a bit snobby, sure.
Snobby, that's my priority.
It's not your need; it's your want.
It's my need. Yeah, go on. It's my need.
Have like a mode of transport, so that you don't have to
bicycle.
Whatever it may be for you to, so these are all requirements. I'm not saying that these you can give up.
Yes.
But these ones, all of these, that lady who's picking up boxes is achieving. That's why she's picking up those boxes.
That's true.
She's living with a roof over her head. She's struggling, and that's why she's respectable. And she's still living the life that every human being deserves.
Okay, but I don't know how we've flipped here now, you and me. We've traded personalities, because the last thing I was watching was Chomsky talking about how capitalism is the only system where we exchange our work, our time for our labor for like a commodity. Our time is commodified, and he was saying, it is modern slavery, because you're free to leave your job, you're free to quit, but what that means is you're free to starve. Doesn't sound that great to me.
No, it's absolutely not. But okay, so whatever I'm saying,
that's just the other side of
no. It's the individual. Okay, so there's two ways of looking at it. If you look at it from a societal point of view, what Chomsky is saying is absolutely right. We need to collectively come up with policies, with ways in which we improve these lives, right? And so we can ensure that someone like Dot, even with that name,
respect. I love the name.
Deserves a decent retirement. You know, I get that, but from an individual level, now these are big decisions that you and I individually have no control over.
Yeah,
all we have control over is us. Now, I am in this world. This world is bad. This world can be improved. Maybe it'll get improved. Maybe it won't get improved. But what am I supposed to do from an individual capacity? How can I make my life better in this world without making making others' lives worse off?
Yes.
I think that is the quality. That is the most important question. And can I live a fulfilled life? Maybe that life involves a lot of hard work. But man, centuries before, generations before, they worked like dogs as well.
Correct, yeah.
And I've also noticed that, like, dude, happiness and money is not the same thing. I go to Pakistan and I see people that have miserable existences.
Really?
They are happier in some sense than I am.
Yeah.
So I know that it's not denoted to your dollar value. Now, they have miserable lives. I wouldn't want to live their life, but they have somehow been able to find happiness in it.
Right.
And you know what? They're also like very okay with dying as a consequence.
Really?
Because their life is suffering. And so
is this just the poverty you're talking about?
Yeah, poverty, but like just a general attitude of things. The society isn't super. It's becoming more and more that now, but it wasn't as materialistic as before, as now.
I think being materialistic is not a good thing. I mean, even I'm sort of in the process of selling off some of my more prized, let's say, or at least kind of valuable pieces
music equipment, your guitar pedals,
stuff like that, because like I'm kind of that's another issue of creativity, because sometimes when you have all this stuff, I think creativity comes from a place of simplicity and kind of, how can I explain, like emptiness almost, like a lack of options, because then you're making options with a lack of options, and it feels good to get rid of things like that. But look, yeah, I get what you're saying. I did see this other thing that said like in feudalism, technically, the slaves or whatever got more holidays than the modern day American worker.
I don't know about that. Like now, this is getting into some territory where it's like, actually, dude, slavery was better. Like living in Newtown sucks. Like, I wish I was in Mississippi.
Tending the
I've
fields.
seen Django. I can handle it.
No, this is in Europe. In Europe, this is in Europe. Like white English people, like working for the king, had like 2 months off a year or something.
I somehow doubt that, dude.
I don't know. It was a meme. It was a meme. But like, I guess the
white slaves working for the kings in the Middle Ages got 2 months off of work for holidays. Something about it is like, I don't know.
Maybe it wasn't 2 months.
Let's just say it feels unreliable information.
Maybe it was a month, but
Still heaps, dude. Heaps.
I think that you have a better perspective because it's like, I think it's all a balance. It's taking the wins, I suppose. Yeah. It's taking and apathy and kind of being spoiled. They don't usually breed happiness. That's true. But my point is, there is a middle ground between being kind of like working your whole life and being happy and making the most of it, and being like, stacking shells and coals when your lower back is gone.
It's gone. There's another thing which I don't know. I notice this now more often than before.
It's a bit of a
and
brutal
I'm
system,
actually kind of really happy about this. Okay, so for example, if let's say you, me, and Jordan, right?
Yeah.
You, me, and Jordan, we're friends. Now one of us gets like a slight good advantage. For example, like we all have to like, travel an hour to work, all three of us, and we're all equally miserable doing it every day. And then all of a sudden, Jordan gets a better job, which pays more, right?
This is just reality.
I know. But I'm trying to make a point.
Yeah.
And he doesn't have to go an hour away. Maybe his work is only 10 minutes away. Now, instinctively, I've noticed for many people, not all, that's a source of jealousy. They're immediately going to be like, yeah, what a fucking lucky bastard.
Right.
Or like, what a fuck. I hope he, And for others, it's straight up like, oh, that's really cool. Fuck, I wish I could. I'm going to try and do that as well.
Yes.
There's two different mindsets.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I didn't work on this. Naturally, throughout my life, I have never been a jealous person in that way.
That's good.
I have never looked at like, okay, so
really good.
One of my friends, like, for example, Jordan makes a lot of money, right?
Oh, yeah.
Let's say he splurges. Now, you like someone like Jordan, right? So, like, Jordan's our friend, so you could be like, oh, I'm really happy for him. And maybe you're right.
Always happy.
But even if, like, some contemporary, that we work with, like, just started making a lot of money, at no point am I going to be like, what a fucking idiot. I wish I had that money.
Yeah.
And it's not like something that I'm like, oh, I'm great. Instinctively, I never had that. And I think, like,
that's a good
if
quality.
you can remove envy
absolutely
out of your life,
comparison is
somehow
a thief of joy.
Because when I sometimes talk to people, and this is when I realize
they're motivated by it.
That they are so motivated by it that they get trapped in it.
Absolutely.
That they can't let it go.
It's not healthy.
They're trying to chase something that someone else has.
Yeah.
And some of our friends have that a little bit too. I noticed that less in you though, which I'm happy about.
I don't think
sometimes I notice it in you, but very rarely.
Yeah. Oh no, it's in me.
Very rarely.
It's in me, but it's not something that motivates me for very long.
Yeah, it doesn't.
It's like it might be a passing thought,
and that is a liberating feeling.
Totally. Oh no, it's a passing thought, and because that's not a healthy energy to go off.
Yeah, but sometimes
It's kinda like
people's,
anger.
like default energy.
That's not good. I don't think that's good. That's not healthy. I think
Yeah.
it's like a shot of espresso. It can kick you off, but it can't sustain you. It's not sustainable, I don't think.
And it just makes you unhappy, I think, because you're always like comparing.
Yes. But don't you think it's human nature to do that to a degree?
Clearly it is human nature,
Yeah.
but what I'm saying is like some people are lucky enough where it's not that big of a factor for them.
Yes.
And
It's definitely a
it's clearly everyone's psychology is different.
it's
But it
definitely
is a human emotion.
it is, but it's definitely, if that's your priority, then that's not going to be good. It's not going to be beneficial for it. It's not, because it doesn't practically change your outcome, does
Yeah,
it?
anything. And it makes your pursuit of making your life better worse off because you're just marinating in this negativity, which is paralyzing you.
I
really.
would say that like the majority of people are like that. I think yeah, because
I don't know the stats for it, but
I
like
think they
I
would
guess
be,
they
though.
would be.
but maybe not. I
But
don't know.
man, that is a massive disadvantage in life.
Hugely.
I know people very close to me that are like that, and I just don't mean my friends.
Yeah.
I mean, like, you know, and
especially in
and it's like,
yeah.
so it always gets like, you spend an hour just being like, so what if this person has that? Good for them. How do you get better?
Yeah.
And it's like, well, this guy, you know, he doesn't deserve it. I deserve it. It's like, okay, life was unfair. I don't, first of all, maybe you're wrong in your understanding
Yeah.
that you deserve it and they don't.
Yeah.
But let's assume that you're right. They didn't deserve it. You deserved it, but they got something. So like life is unfair. How do you like, what can you do now to make yourself better off?
Yeah.
Because if you're constantly just going to like sit with this negativity and just be like, the world is unfair to me, you become more and more insular.
Yes.
And there's no escape out of that.
I think and you know what I think, like I think sometimes too, it's funny, sometimes I remind myself, some people are like, oh, I wish I was, I don't know, Jeff Bezos or something. It's like practically, especially in a lot of the West, I think whether you have a mortgage, whether you don't have a mortgage, whether you earn a certain amount, whether you don't earn a certain amount, if you examine the high up and the low down, generally speaking, I feel like their day-to-day lives are always going to be similar. You still turn up, still work, whether you're making a shit ton or not a lot. Sure, the job might be less fulfilling or more fulfilling. Maybe holidays are different, stuff like that. But like a lot of the day-to-day would be indistinguishable. From like a child's perspective, they'd be like, they're both eating. They're the same. You know what I'm saying? They both work every day. They both do this thing every day.
Or like a dog.
They're both stressed.
Do you know what the ideal owner for a dog is? For a dog psychology,
person.
a homeless person.
Because they're with them all the time.
Because not only are they with them all the time, it is attuned to what a dog's natural life is, which is scavenging for food. So that's what dogs are coded. They're scavengers. We're actually humans are scavengers too. This is why we
Really?
work well with dogs. Yeah. So the ideal owner for a dog is a homeless person that doesn't have a house. Because you have to constantly scavenge,
Yes.
move from one place to the other, rest. And dogs kind of, without heroin, they pass out like that too, and then they move on. So like from a dog's perspective, their ideal owner isn't Kim Kardashian. It's literally the homeless guy who you wish never had. So it's about perspective. I'm not saying you become a homeless person, and I'm not even trying to argue that life is easy. You know, that's what like people say, like, you don't get it. Yeah. Life is hard for us, and that's what you hear a lot. And it's like, man, everyone's life is hard, and maybe it's harder for you. I'm not doubting it. You were dealt a bad hand, maybe. But you can either just like live with that, or you can try to make your hand slightly better.
Yeah.
Play your cards.
Sometimes I feel like it's a curse having our human advanced brains, because sort of the ability to look into the future or imagine the future or live in the future is this kind of burden where it's like, if you were like smacked in the head with a hammer or something, you just live for the day, you'd be a lot happier.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
It's not an easy thing.
This wasn't even a segment.
Yeah,
and
I
we
know.
spent more than half the pod on it.
Sorry.
So let's move on.
Let's move on. But
leave in the comment section. Tell me what you think. I know what I've just said is unpopular. I get a lot of backlash.
I don't think it's unpopular.
It is unpopular, dude. People don't like to hear it, particularly in our generation. I think there's a lot more sympathy for this point of view amongst boomers.
Right.
But on our generation, it's not. And then some people who know me intimately, and when I say this to them, they point out how I was lucky. And I agree with them. They'd be like, with this thing, you were lucky. You got this. With this thing, you were lucky. I wasn't that lucky. And I was like, okay, man, maybe you're right. I was lucky. But are you just going to like be miserable for the rest of your life?
It's not a good alternative.
Yeah.
I will point out though, man, I've seen some dogs with homeless people and those dogs look miserable.
I don't know. That's what Cesar Millan says. You know who Cesar Millan is?
Yeah. The dog guy?
The dog whisperer.
What does he say?
He says that homeless people are best owners. I mean, from a dog's perspective.
From a dog's perspective, but like, you know, I don't think the homeless people are like taking them for walks.
Well, that's different. But like the homeless people, the idea is that you just walk yourself. Or like, okay, let's not say homeless, but maybe like, you know, traditional indigenous communities, dogs would be very happy with those communities.
Oh man, that would be amazing.
Yeah.
And I would argue that is an interesting sort of way to live in terms of it's like community based, like you know, that's basically like communist society. It's like everyone works together. Like there's not these there's no like you don't have to own status symbols and stuff, but it's like food, shelter, community, that's all taken care of. Those are the most important things in life. You know, I don't particularly, I'm not motivated by, I want a better car. I wouldn't mind a better car, but like not because of status, purely because my car's barely starts.
Yeah, well,
but like
you getting a different car is a need. Yes. It is no longer a want.
But that's what I mean, like,
because like one of the requirements for the car is to move.
Like, but I do feel grateful that I haven't been raised in that way that, you know, you display your status by these consumer goods, because that's a slippery slope, really. It's crazy, you know. But
not just consumer goods, generally attachments as well.
Generally attachments. I think that's
even like, and I would go to the point, and this is the one that I didn't bring up, but I would even go on to this point where say like even relationships are certain attachments that you don't necessarily want to be fully into, where like there's no other alternative.
Yeah. Well,
you should always be understanding that like, you know, relationships break down.
Yeah.
And not just with your partner, maybe it's with your parents, or maybe
it's a very mature, difficult but mature way of looking at it. I mean, with my ex relationship, I think we were too what's it called? What's that stuff called? Codependent. Mm-hmm. Because you're like kind of one person together, because then when it splits, you're like, who am I? What you know? And that's not
almost
healthy.
every relationship is like that. Dude, I'd argue my own relationship is like that.
They all do get that.
But
like
the thing is, but you should try and, I don't know.
No, you're right.
Dude, even my wife gets angry when I say things like that, but like you should try and avoid not be super attached.
No, I get it.
Because you never know what the future holds,
exactly.
You know?
Look at it
and you should, it shouldn't like, you know, like for some people, breaking up reduces 10 years out of their life expectancy, you know? Really? Particularly for men.
Serious?
Actually, it does very little for women. Women are usually fine. In fact, they live longer life.
Are you kidding?
But for men, their life expectancy goes down.
Oh my goodness.
Part of it is that they're not into diagnosing some of their health issues, but
as in like, I didn't check my liver.
Dude, if your family dies, your life you die young. If like you're a man married and you had a family and that family died for some reason, like their life expectancy drops drastically.
Whoa.
Anyways, but look, you know, this is the whole thing. I'm not saying like I find value in human relationships as well, so you don't have to look that into that. But
punch your wife in the face.
Yeah. Hey, all right,
no, for sure.
Let's do some segments.
Yeah, let's do it.
Our first segment is have you heard about the BBC fiasco?
No.
So BBC put up a news reporting some time ago, where what they did was that they edited a Donald Trump clip.
Okay.
So Donald Trump, this is when the January 6th riots happened. They took one part, then cut, and then added another part, which was like 15 minutes after his speech, to give off an impression that he was inciting violence.
Is that right? Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, so that was picked up by, I can't remember, some right-wing organization. And
PragerU.
because Trump was having a beef with Canada over a similar thing, the AI, the video, the ad, they this right wing group said that BBC is doing the same thing and gave the example of this. Obviously, then Trump found out, the White House got involved. The head of directors of BBC resigned. Okay. Another person resigned.
Really?
And for bias. Okay. And then and Trump is now saying, I'm still going to sue BBC for $1.5 billion. Billion dollars.
God, Americans just love suing.
Now, do you want me to cut the smoke screen and tell you exactly what all of this is about?
Can I guess?
Yeah. All roads lead to.
It's not got anything to do with New York, obviously.
No.
Oh, I know. The London mayor.
Okay, so
what's his name?
So what they're claiming is, I'll tell you exactly what they're claiming.
Yeah.
They're claiming that the BBC has an institutional bias, right? And all of a sudden, everyone's come and started attacking BBC, kind of like what they do with ABC over here, that you're more labor friendly, including their head of ethics committee who had resigned, and he sent a letter saying like BBC is fully biased, and he cites examples of their climate change coverage, and the Gaza war.
Right.
Now, in my view, what all of this is about is actually the Gaza war.
Really?
So what's happening is, Trump, the reason also why Trump is threatening to sue BBC is because people around him are asking him to do this.
Okay.
So look, post-Gaza war, you can understand how the narrative has slipped away from Israel and some of the media vested interests that have vested interest to promote Israel in a certain way, right?
Yeah.
And that media control has completely slipped away. Mm-hmm. BBC was one of those institutions that got a lot of
permission to cover it, or
no one got permission. They banned everyone from Gaza because they had outlawed all journalists. But what BBC was getting constant criticism from Israel for being too pro Palestinian in their coverage.
Who was saying that? Who was
Israel?
Oh, okay.
That BBC in particular is being too pro-Palestine in their coverage.
Yep.
Now, if you can see, this is happening with every media organization. Like, they're buying TikTok, and just see who these people are that are buying it and what their donations have been.
You mean the government? American government's trying to buy TikTok? Is that what you're talking about?
No. Oh. These are private. And there was a clip that also was released of Netanyahu, where he's at the American embassy in Washington, D.C., if I'm not wrong, and he's talking to a bunch of people, influencers.
Yeah.
And he's saying, like, the media thing has completely slipped out of our hand. We're trying to get it back.
Yeah.
That's why TikTok is the most important buy, because Israel believes that TikTok is one of the biggest contributors to anti-Israel bias.
Yeah.
Which again, it's a simplistic understanding of what's happening, but that's what that's why they're getting billionaires who are really pro-Zionist to hamper all the, and so one of the things is that they're trying to basically change the BBC leadership. They think that most of them are sympathizers. Gotcha. They're doing the same thing, by the way, the American media houses. So, for example, if you've heard, what's her name? That lady who just became the chief political editor for ABC.
No.
She's like a full Zion. I can't remember her name.
Right.
People listening in know exactly who we're talking about. She was installed. So think about it this way. This is how insane the thing is. She has a media channel before becoming the chief political editor of ABC, which had like tens of thousands of views. That's how much she would get. Slightly more than this podcast, believe it or not. She was offered like $100 million, I think, to absorb that into the ABC. This tens of thousands. Like, imagine someone paying us like millions of dollars for this podcast.
Right.
And to absorb into it, and then also made the chief political editor. The entire point was to control the anti-Israel, what they would believe bias.
Yeah.
And so they're doing that with everyone. And BBC is no same. Trump is only threatening BBC because they're building pressure on BBC to scare them and to get them to essentially fire most of their leadership and then install a pro Israel leadership.
Seriously?
Yeah, that's what's happening.
Oh my god, that's crazy! And he's using this as impetus to do that because they're showing that they have this bias, which you could say is bias the way they've edited that. But he's using
but like, dude,
but he's using it to
now think about it this
them.
way: someone made a shitty clip. News organizations are pumping out content daily, and
it's a huge organization.
It's a huge organization, and they're constantly. And then some, not like the chief editor didn't make this decision,
Some
saying like,
random.
"Hey, some dude put it up." And now that is enough that even the head of the organization has resigned, but you're still not happy with it?
Yeah, that is crazy.
You want to change the entire leadership because some foot soldier decided to edit it?
That is crazy.
In a way that, by the way, every other news organization does it regularly anyways.
Yeah.
It's a bit of an overreach.
It is.
I wonder why that's
overreach.
happening.
That's what he wants. So he wants just like a
It's not Trump, by the way. I think Trump couldn't be bothered by
BB.
that. I think Trump, if you ask Trump, he'd be happy. He'd be like annoyed that someone edited his, because he's vengeful like that.
Oh, you
but
think
if you
someone
told
in
him,
his cabinet?
yeah, well, not cabinet.
BB.
It's the
BB.
It's the who it is.
You can't say it. BB.
The lobby. That's who it is.
Oh, the lobby. In the lobby. It's the lobby.
Which, by the way, is a very scary thing to say because there's literal fascists protesting in Sydney. Did you see that?
No.
Oh my God, you didn't see this?
Again, how many is this what do you mean literal fascists? Are you saying literal fascists?
The same guys.
Yeah, but you're just saying what, the ones that are like lower immigration, right?
Yeah. So their organization is called White Australia.
Oh, okay.
And they went to
That is I guess that is.
So they were at they applied for a protest.
Yeah.
Yeah, look at this. So this is their protest. Now read what the sign says.
Neo-Nazi rally reported. Whoa.
Yeah. So that happened, by the way. Which is why which is why I don't like saying things like the lobby, because obviously this sort of stuff is being used for a whole different bunch of stuff now.
But also, how good's an estimated 60 people?
Yeah. Well,
that is scary though.
Actually, I wanted to bring this up as well.
What is going on in?
Okay, so the way this happened was that they applied to
and
protest.
where was my invite?
And where was our invite? They applied for this protest.
Yeah.
They kind of like snuck their way in. Like
Yeah, I can
the
imagine
police
that.
just assumed there wasn't going to be. And also they put up this sign that says, okay, I'll just say it. I'll put it up in editing as well, but it says, abolish the Jewish lobby, whiteaustralia.org. Now this sign has created a lot of controversy.
Wait a
obviously.
second. Aren't Jews white?
Man, you don't want to go too into that because I don't know exactly. Because and also I'm not going to defend these guys.
It's getting very vague, dicey. But anyway, go on.
But so when this happened, obviously it outraged a lot of people who were saying like this is anti-Semitic.
Yeah.
And how is this allowed?
Yeah.
Like you've passed legislations which are for racial discrimination.
It's a
How
good
come these guys aren't getting
the
arrested?
photo up is pretty hectic. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, do you know why these guys are not getting arrested?
No.
Actually, so then after, as a backlash to this, the organization, the White Australia organization, they asked people to harass the member for Wentworth.
Okay. Is that
she's
Spender?
an independent? Yeah, Spender. Yeah,
Allegra Spender.
Allegra Spender, because she obviously represents a lot of Jewish. So
Right.
she said something, and then they started attacking her,
Right.
and that has been raised to the cops, and they might be like getting in trouble for that, but they're not getting in trouble for this sign, and a lot of people are confused.
Yeah.
Why aren't you getting in trouble for this? So now, I thought I'm going to make this pod really boring.
Why?
So let's look at the new legislation of racial hatred that's been introduced.
Sure.
And look at the different elements.
Okay.
I'm going to do a little lawyer exercise
This
for
is
you.
not boring. This is interesting.
So, okay, so just so whenever you look at this and you're like, why aren't you getting arrested? This is racial discrimination. Okay, let me tell you what the elements are, and then we can discuss whether this fits into this.
Go. I'm curious.
So the first element that it needs to happen is it needs to happen in public, right?
Yeah.
So it can't happen at home.
Yeah.
Fair. So this particular instance happened in public. One done. Public essentially means anything that can be seen by others, like speech, social media posts, graffiti, chants at a rally, anything that is public, right?
Mm-hmm.
The second is it's done intentionally to stir hate. All right?
Okay.
Hatred is defined in the legislation as strong dislike, hostility, or rejection, and race includes color, nationality, ethnicity, descent, and ethno-religious background, which applies in this case. right? So now, do you think the second element is satisfied in this?
Yeah.
Is it done intentionally to stir up hate?
Probably, yeah.
I
mean, look,
I would argue
it's
as well.
subjective, but I mean, like, yeah, by definition, I suppose so. Yeah.
I would argue as well, even though I suppose people could argue against that, but I agree with you.
yeah.
And I think this particular thing satisfies the second element.
Yeah.
Now, the third element is it would cause a reasonable person targeted by the hatred to feel fear. And this is the crucial one.
I mean,
so a reasonable person, and a reasonable person is, I don't know, a man on the Bondi bus, which is a ridiculous way to do it. But like a reasonable person.
Well, Bondi.
Yeah, Bondi.
I'd say, yeah.
It's not reasonable anymore, man. No, but reasonable.
Yeah, I would say that it ticks the box.
I don't think it does. And that's why they... Okay, so I'll tell you why. So the sign says... No, I don't like these people. Again, I'm just trying to explain to you what the conundrum the cops would have.
I mean, you don't have to say you don't like them, obviously. They wouldn't like you.
Yeah, they're literally white as straight. Exactly. They don't like me. So the third is, it would cause reasonable person targeted by hatred to feel fear. Now, their sign says, abolish the Jewish lobby.
Right.
Now, if one was to accept their demand, which is abolish a lobby, that...
A lobby is different than a group of people.
Well, no, a lobby, first of all, a lobby is an institutional body as opposed to a group of ethno-religious people.
Yeah.
Secondly, so if they said, exterminate the lobby, right?
Yeah.
That would cause a reasonable fear of your safety.
Right.
Abolish the lobby means you wouldn't have any official capacity. Like it doesn't, you're not going to die out of it.
Yeah.
You know, so these are the elements that you would need to satisfy.
Right.
These guys didn't satisfy those elements, which is why I think that they didn't get in trouble for it. But I just wanted to bring this up for people that usually encounter this sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Where you're like, why are people not getting arrested? Oh, what is racial? Can I say anything I want? What can I say? So these are the elements. If you want to analyze news stories, or if you want to realize whether what you're doing is legal or not.
Yeah.
Happens in public intentionally. So it can't be, so intentionally just means like it can't be a byproduct of an activity where you were doing something, but it caused, so for example, you were making a joke, your intention was to make people laugh, but I don't know, it caused grave amount of harm to someone. It wasn't your intention to cause it. If you can prove that your intention wasn't that, then you're fine. And the third one is, it should cause a reasonable person. So not a reasonable person essentially means non-Karens. Like it should be a reasonable thing. Like sometimes you're like, I feel assaulted, you looked at me. That's not a reasonable thing.
Yeah.
So a reasonable person to be targeted by hatred. So you need to be targeted directly, or someone needs to be targeted directly.
Right.
Through hatred, and they need to feel fear. So the fear element only comes when there is a level of threat of violence.
So because it's sort of like saying it's a lobby, it's sort of, but then wouldn't some people, everyday people be threatened by whiteaustralia.org or whatever?
Well, that's another thing. So apply to this. Do you think?
Yeah. Okay, some people could be threatened.
Now,
by that.
white Australia, or if you say Australia should be white.
Well, that's obviously the implication.
But if you say Australia should be white and we should start deporting Muslims,
right?
Now that is, first of all, directed at a specific religio-ethnic community, right? It's in public if you're saying it in public. And lastly, by arguing that you deport them, they are fearful of you now.
Yeah.
Right? Because they fear that you're going to catch them, imprison them, and send them overseas.
But that's kind of implied, isn't it?
What?
Whiteaustralia.com or whatever.
Again, in legal language, implication doesn't necessarily mean offense.
Ah, interesting.
Yeah.
So they've found a mad loophole.
But implication, if it's obvious implication, where like, okay, let's say, I'll give you an example. Like, you know, like how it's gonna be. This is gonna be like a weird one. But you know how anal is also considered is also known as Greek.
No,
in the online or in the prostitution world, it's known as Greek.
I didn't know
so
that.
this was in America where prostitution is illegal.
Yeah.
The like when you don't want to like on the phone say that you want anal because you say Greek. So these are code words.
Hilarious.
Now that is a clear example where you've implied anal, and it will be considered to be anal in court because Greek publicly everyone understands is a word for anal.
I didn't, but okay.
Yes. So what I'm trying to say, so even though you've implied anal, in this case, the court will look at it as anal.
Right.
Because there's no other way of doing it.
Gotcha.
Right? And it's common knowledge. A reasonable person who's involved in these sort of activities knows that this word means this.
Yeah.
So you can't say like, oh, I just meant like Greek barbecue. I didn't mean anal. And it's like, we all know what Greek means.
Yeah.
But in some cases where you said like white Australia, doesn't that imply deportation?
Yeah.
Well, is the implication so obvious that any reasonable person will automatically assume that's what that means?
Maybe.
I don't think so. So I don't think that would be
really
illegal. Yeah.
I mean, we're getting into the legal nitty gritty. I feel like maybe it would, but like I think that
it comes from our old assault laws.
Really?
So in assault, so you know how like it's just assault. So when you hit someone, that's battery.
Yeah.
Assault can be verbal.
Yes.
So assault can be I give you like
you beep beep beep,
but not just that.
What?
I will hit you as well. So there's a reasonable fear that the threat is imminent.
I'm going to bash you.
That I'm going to bash you.
Yeah.
But you know what isn't an assault? So if I say, if you don't get up this couch, I'm going to bash you.
Yeah.
Because the fear isn't inevitable. There's an option that if you don't.
Are you serious?
So that doesn't technically qualify as assault.
Wow.
But if I say, I'm going to bash you right now.
Yeah.
Assault. Without the bashing itself.
Is that right?
Yeah. It's a weird... Anyway, so I just thought that like...
I didn't know that.
You know, because like someone brought it up to me and then they sent me, it was like, how is this not illegal? And I was like, man, I'm not making the rules.
Yeah.
But maybe on the pod, I'll sort of explain what the elements are.
Interesting. Very... So there were no arrests made for that?
No. But they wanted to arrest them so bad, but they couldn't figure, for the obvious reasons that I told you, that they can't arrest them for this.
But the police...
So what they did was that they're arresting them based on the Allegra spender
That's
stuff.
correct.
Yeah.
So they are?
Yes. But because I think, well, they're saying that they are. Maybe they found something over there.
When the cops see this happening, they're, you know, some of these cops, they're not the brightest. Who's making the decision? The constable or something? No,
the constable isn't. Well, in these kind of instances,
who's making
cops,
the call?
Well, usually the cops on the ground are.
They make the call, so a cop goes, I wonder if this is legal grounds for arrest. Well, is the implication... They wouldn't be saying that.
Some of them would, but like in when it gets complicated like that, then they'll ask their superiors.
Yeah.
And then their superiors would usually know because they practice this every day. This is not the first time. But if they don't, then they have legal departments within the police force that will give them advice. Yeah.
So there's lawyers that work for the police force.
But the thing with cops is that the one on the ground, they have to make split-second decisions. Yeah. So that you can't like, oh, let me just find out, blah, blah, blah. By that time, the whole thing is over.
Yeah, but the police can be sued too.
Yeah, they can.
So if they do something...
But they have like cushion. So the police can be sued if the offense is blatant, but they get more of a wiggle room because of their job itself and the nature of their job.
Yeah. It's interesting they didn't just arrest straight away.
On what grounds? They were legally allowed to protest, which was a mistake. I understand.
I know, but some cop just walking on the streets doesn't know that. They go like, they're near Parliament House. Get them.
Yeah, but that's what will cause them to sue the cops.
I suppose that they didn't
unreasonable use of force.
Yeah.
Like a basic lawyer will be able to get them out of this offense.
So there's sort of this group has, you know, maybe they have a lawyer and they've been crafty enough to sort of at least understand, like, if we're going to do this, they're going to say Jewish lobby, and we're going to have a link to a website. We're not going to be saying explicitly,
and not like exterminate Jewish lobby, but abolish the Jewish lobby. Abolish. The word, okay, so this is stuff like lawyers will say. Abolish is a good word to use because abolish only is threatening to non-human concepts. You can't abolish a person.
Yeah,
if that
right.
makes sense.
Yes.
But if you say
like
kill the Jewish lobby, even if you're implying
to end it, to abolish, to abolish.
But the word is so that anyone would be like, don't use that. But abolish is a good word to use.
It's interesting that there's different implications with different words. Abolish, yeah. But I would also say, you know, surely legally it gets dicey when you're saying, yeah, I understand it's a lobby, but it's still... the Jewish people are a race, so it's still implying a racial element.
Yeah, so that element is fulfilled. But the phrase has... So all three elements need to be satisfied for it to be an offense.
Yeah. Oh, so
Yeah.
okay, so it's only a 2 of 3.
Sorry, I should have explained that. So all 3 elements need to be satisfied for it to be considered an offense. So if it satisfies 2 of them, for example, there's clear hatred, there's fear and intimidation, but it's not publicly. Someone's doing it in their room. Doesn't qualify.
Yeah, gotcha. So it has to do all 3.
All 3, yeah.
What? Yeah. Does that? What about if it's broadcast on the internet?
That's public.
That's public,
Yeah.
of course. Yeah. Very interesting. Well,
anyway, so I hope these guys like you find a fix for them, but like, yeah,
it's pretty.
And also, like, there's demands. Chris Min says, "Well, we need more tougher legislation." It's like, no, dude. I think the legislation is there.
Let's not go down. Let's not go down the road of what's the thing they introduced after 9/11 where they could just go into people's
Patriot Act.
Yeah, let's not go down the Patriot Act. What are you doing, Rumi?
Hey, what's he eating?
Hold on. What do you got? What is it? I don't know. I can't see.
Yeah, whatever. I think it's fine.
Little dingus. Yeah, the Patriot Act. Let's not like go down the road of Patriot Act because then it's just like, okay, what is the Patriot Act? Well, the government can go into any of your private email information. It's like, this is crazy. Yeah. So like, yeah, I that's funny that Min said that, but he's probably got pressure from said lobbies.
No, not necessarily. I think that just comes from him not wanting to explain why they're not arresting and not blaming cops.
Oh, sorry.
Because the cops didn't arrest him for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
And he and he didn't want people to blame the cops for it because so he just blamed essentially legislation. He found a scapegoat out of it. I think that's what. I
didn't think,
and I'm sure there was a pressure from the said lobby.
Yeah. I didn't think. I know Jordan did a video on it a while ago. I didn't know that there was strong Jewish lobbies.
But this is the other thing. This is like why we equate everything. It should be kept in mind. Yes, there's a lobby in Australia as well.
I didn't know.
But it is not nearly as powerful as the American one.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of like conflating issues.
Yeah.
Like it's in America, you could argue that sign is kind of important.
Oh yeah. It's different.
We'll move from there.
Yeah.
So this was a bit of a technical, boring.
But that was kind of cool. That was kind of like Law 101 with cheek.
Well, that's not just racial discrimination 101.
Racial discrimination law.
Yeah. Man, we're talking about canceled so much. Jimmy Kimmel's episode was postponed.
Why?
Jimmy goes too hard on Trump. I think this was just...
So they're hitting him again.
So I think this is, again, the new corporate media...
Yeah. Because he was canceled.
Bosses being scared.
He was canceled, then brought back.
Yeah, recently his episode was about to go live. Yeah. They postponed it.
Right.
And they played an old episode.
Wow.
But dude, you gotta... So I was reading this. This is a bit intense. It's a Jimmy Kimmel.
Yeah.
His wife is very, very against Trump. But not only is she very against Trump, but she has... You know what she did? I don't know even... So there was media reporting, and I can understand where Kimmel's coming from now. She was like very disappointed all of her family members that were pro-Trump.
Right.
And so she wrote a letter to every single family and friend that she believes is pro-Trump, saying like, I am breaking off my relationship for you. In good conscience, I can no longer be your friend or your family.
Oh my God.
And so she sends it to everyone. So like, so that's the household. That's the bed he's sharing.
Yeah, I think that's pretty...
I mean, I'm no fan of Trump, but that's a bit extreme, yo.
Hey, Rumi. That's... Rumi. He's gonna screw the... That's a bit intense. That is a bit intense. Like, that is that is like quite an intense thing to do, to like cut off your own family.
Yeah, I know. But so I think like Jimmy Kimmel is sometimes...
You know, Gavin McInnes was just like, Jimmy Kimmel used to be a legend. And then he married this chick and like she was like a crazy lefty, and then he just wanted to like get laid. So he started doing this shit. Now he's a goddamn pussy. That's
I mean, look, that's part of it. Do you remember Retro Jimmy?
Nah.
Retro Jimmy was...
Oh, yeah, dude. Did you watch The Man Show?
Basically Shane Gillis. Yeah, The Man Show. Yeah, exactly.
Which was like kind of cringe, but it was also it was hilarious.
And that's why, by the way, Trump hates Jimmy too. Because Jimmy and Trump were kind of friends.
Oh, yeah.
And so Trump was like, why this cack?
Yeah.
So not that he flipped, but he was like, he's taking himself too seriously.
Yeah. And you know what's funny too? You know,
he just gets some LA pussy and then all of a sudden...
the guy on the the other guy on the Man Show, he's like a hard Republican.
Yeah.
He lives in LA, and he's like, these goddamn Mexicans just selling food on the taco truck. They're not paying taxes on it, and they're clogging the sidewalks. I can't walk to the depot because of the goddamn Mexican food trucks. I think we have enough. Like, that's him. Yeah. So it's like pretty funny. You know, he's probably just like confused or something at why Jimmy. I think it's probably a bit like oversimplistic to be, you know, people can change their political opinions over the times,
absolutely.
You know?
In fact, I think if someone says consistent their entire life,
it's a worry.
Yeah, it's a bit.
Let's remind our audience. I was a hard libertarian. Remember?
And now you're just an old school fascist.
You know, get the lobbies out. That's all I'm saying. But yeah, like, you know, like, why did they delay the episode? Because it was too hard.
It's a secret. They don't reveal. But I think like Jimmy goes hard.
I mean, there is an
argument. But he also goes hard, he goes hard in like an emotional way.
But they do it for views, I think, because if you think about it, like back in the day, right? You know, the Ed Sullivan Show. I understand that politics was less polarized and less intense and all that. Mm-hmm. But they didn't do these half-hour political monologues. They were like, I was down on the 101. They renamed it 1001. That's how long it took me to get home. Like it was like funny, and it's definitely changed now. I understand that there's the political environment is very different. So, but I think that they do it because like I think that the media landscape has just gone harder left, harder right, and you have to placate your audience. You know, I think that's why they do it. I mean, I'm not saying they don't believe it, but like, it is interesting to see how these like talk shows have completely changed. Even when David Letterman was doing it, David Letterman was one going out there being like, he might do a joke on Bush or Obama, but they were light.
Dude, he was too busy boning his staff. David Letterman did not have time for politics. The man was 80 and had to have sex at least 5 times a day.
He hasn't been cancelled for any of that.
I saw an old video of David Letterman. Can't believe it. He does like he does a show where he's like, okay, everybody now. He recounts how he's being blackmailed by some blackmailer.
What?
About like him having sex with his staffers. And then so he has to like, he says it in public and then he dishes out the entire thing. And then he says, what's my crime? Yes, I had sex with so-and-so. Yes, I had sex with so-and-so. Yes, I took pictures. This is all like in the monologue. I am not going to be threatened by this man. You're going to reveal it. I'll reveal it myself.
Wait, didn't he cheat on his wife?
Yeah. That's what, but he like, dude, he was a bit of a cheater.
But there was a whole thing. I remember that went down and like, he was just forgiven, I think, by the public.
For having fun? Yeah. Is that a crime? Yeah, because it was consensual, I think. From what I don't know the date.
Yeah, well, that is different.
Yeah, that's so different, bro.
Yeah, it was. I don't know.
Well, yeah, but weirdly, we're in this weird thing. Remember when, like, okay, well, there was a time when consent was always required, but then, like, now cheating is almost bad as well. So, like, that Coldplay people, they got canceled. That was consensual, dude. I saw them embracing each other. Both of them were on the same page.
Yeah, that's true. But that was just like...
So I don't understand these rules anymore.
You know, that was like some like billionaire CEO. People don't like those people.
So it was just like...
I think it was more that.
Envy. Circle it back to step 1.
And the way that went down was such a spectacle that obviously it was going to get a lot of...
Dude, I always say this and I get in trouble. I was like, I looked down, I was like, none of my business.
You know, it's funny. Oasis have been like, Oasis reformed. Yeah. And like the singer, I mean, like they're like the biggest loudmouths on earth. But like, they were at some concert and they're like, we don't, just after that happened, they're like, not going to fucking find us getting a camera on yous, fucking Coldplay pansies. Your business is your business. We're not fucking going to be fucking exposing shite. Like that was his take. Like it was just like, stop exposing people with their like lame.
I mean, but then like if you make the argument, people say like, oh, cheater sympathizer, or maybe a closet cheater.
Yeah, but they're untouchable because they said the most crazy shit that like their whole thing is like they say like they talk as if it's like 1992, and they always have. So with the context of who they are, people they're not shocked by what they say, you know? Like they say like the Noel Gallagher was like, who, you know, he's in like the music business, and he was just like, the fucking politicians are ruined. They're all fucked. They're ruining it. Yeah, immigration is too fucking high. It's not sustainable. There was no backlash, you know, because they're like working class guys from Manchester. So I think context is a big part of how, you know, who you are and what, you know what I'm saying?
So infidelity is cancelable or no?
That's a good question. It depends how it's handled. Again, if you're a billionaire and you're caught on camera and shot and push the girl away.
I don't know this bitch.
Yeah, when the camera goes on you and you literally disappear when you see it.
Did you, I don't know, like, did you see the man who was cheating, his actual wife?
Way hotter.
Oh, dude, so much hotter. And the one that he was cheating with, she was scary. But anyways, like I said, none of my business. We should.
Yeah. But I wonder, like, I don't know. That's a really good question. Like, I think morality now on the internet is so skewed in a good and bad way, because you can worm your way into any positive and worm your way into any negative. So it's just, again, polarized to the point where it's like, it's so philosophical. It's just like completely subjective, which is weird, because now we can't decide whatever's right. You know, like someone could hold up a bank with a gun now, and I think that no one would sympathize with the bank.
Yeah.
You know, seriously.
Hey, speaking of ethical thing, and we're running over time, but this is my last question.
And I have to make an appeal before we finish too. I have something I have to say.
All right, actually, you know what? I'll bring that up for the upload. So do your appeal.
Yeah.
Let's end it.
Anyone in Sydney? I need a job, man. I need a goddamn job. Hit me up on my Instagram, man. I'll do anything. I need a...
Shouldn't you have done this like at the beginning when people were still listening?
Shit. Yo, anyone in Sydney, hit my Instagram up. Preferably driving. I want to drive a truck around and like deliver coffee beans. Just
do you have a truck driver's license?
No, you don't need that. You don't. It's not a truck. It's like a van. You don't need it.
Okay.
Yo, man. I'm
do
thirsty.
your brother a favor.
I'm thirsty out here. I was gonna do an Instagram post, but it just seems so demeaning.
And if you're not gonna do that, then at least join Shawarma Tier so he cannot do that.
Join Shawarma Tier. That's the number one aim of the game. But it's like, man, like I hit up all my mates, and
sometimes there's like rich people watching. Sometimes you're surprised. You're like, damn, wow, you have 2 Bitcoins.
Hell yeah! I just need like I hit up all my mates, and they were like, I was like, yeah, something will be going, and like nothing is going, and I'm like, yo, man. Hit me up, man.
Everyone,
I need help out there, man. Sydney crazy like that.
Exactly. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. If you
wait, is that if you don't have to finish?
No. We will finish on this.
Seriously, go on my Instagram. Hit me up. Otherwise, I'm gonna be doing a sad post, being like, "Yo, man, I need some work, man." So like,
I check your dick, man.
Like driving jobs. You deliver shit.
But
to
you
places.
have a shit car.
They give you a car.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Like I found a job. Like there's one that's going, but it's like full time, and I'm like,
anyway. But it doesn't have to be a driving job.
Just
like,
anything.
Just
laboring. Laboring's chill. Like I'll just move. I just need like a couple of days a week. Just something.
There you go.
Jesus, how sad is that? Is so sad.
A little bit. You know what? This has been one of my biggest nightmares, what you just did, which is that, like, if everything goes bad, like, am I just going to have to go on the pod and just be like, man, could someone
I've
give
done
me
it.
a job?
I've done it.
So seeing it realized real time is scary. But
I don't want a career.
But now that you've done it, maybe I'm going to do the same.
No, man. Obviously, the pod is where we're at, but like, I just need something. Man, you gotta help me out there, man. I bet there's something going, man. Los Angeles is a big city.
All right, everyone. Thank you for joining us. We hope you had a great time.
We can't finish on that.
Make sure you sign up to the Patreon. Join the Shawarma Tier up late, because once Jordan is back, which will happen soonish, all of Miss Love and my pods are gonna go behind a paywall. So just help us out, and also like that way maybe you don't have to get Miss Love a job.
I'm happy to. It's just, bro, it's hard. Hey,
it is hard.
What the hell is that shit?
It is hard.
I hit up all my friends like, nah. I'm like, Well, what do I do now?
And plus, unemployment rate went up 0.1%, dude.
I'm in that
It's not just you. Anyways, thank you, everyone. We'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.